What's up, y'all? It's JP, and today I'm giving y'all two new guard builds that are very easy to use and can do everything you need your point guard to do. If y'all like the builds, remember to give this video a like and comment down below which build you think is better and what you would change in these builds. I'll have some rec footage in the background, but let's start with the first build. Starting off with my newest 6'2 guard build, this build is really just a walking bucket and still doesn't sacrifice too much defense or playmaking. We got the 80 layup paired with the 82 drive and dunk, which gives us the Trae Young layup package and also the Anthony Edwards dunk package. Those two are my go-to slashing animations. Trae Young's floaters are probably the best in the game for small guards, and Anthony Edwards has some good dunks for that 82 dunk rating that we have. We also threw on 47 standing dunk just cause I had some extra attributes to use. The slashing on this build is more than enough, and the build only gets better from here. Y'all see we got the 81 mid-range, which I still think is good enough for those pull-ups and shot creator shots. Mid-range is a key way to score this year, so I advise having this on every guard build. Now y'all see the 96 3-pointer. Man oh man, that limitless gold is definitely different than having it silver, especially on smaller guards where you get access to some faster jump shots. The spacing you open up on the court from being able to shoot from so far out really creates so much different looks for your offense. Tie that with your slashing ability and defenders really have to guard you as soon as you pass half court because you're a threat from all the way out there until you reach the paint. Free throw 94 because I know free throws this year are probably the hardest they have ever been, so I do go for at least gold on free points on every single one of my builds. On to the playmaking. We got the 87 pass accuracy for bronze bailout. I say this every time, that's usually the lowest I'll go for any of my guard builds because passing is a big part of my game. I'm usually not a score first guard, even though I have that ability as y'all see with the stats I mentioned, but yeah, pass accuracy is important to me, and with that we got the 92 ball handle and 90 speed with ball, which gives us plenty of good dribbling animations to choose from. So far y'all can see the offense on this build is really top tier, and you can actually use this build for different playstyles, whether you're a pass first, a slasher, or a 3 hunter. Moving on, we have probably the weakest part of this build, which is the defense, and honestly this defense isn't even that bad compared to other small guards you're going to run into. 63 interior defense with 60 block and 66 rebound gives you enough to get a stop in the paint if you position yourself well as grab the rebound if you box out too. Alongside that, we have a 72 perimeter defense, which in my opinion is high enough to hold your own if you play honest defense and do not reach. With this build, you cannot reach on defense. You have to put yourself in proper defensive positioning, and from there you'll actually notice that this build can hold its own versus most players that you run into. The most controversial part of this build is the physicals though. Way back somebody told me acceleration isn't as important as we thought it was, and to be honest at the time I was not a believer. But y'all see with this build I got the 86 speed and 71 excel, which gives me speed booster gold, and honestly I do feel just as fast as my other builds with speed booster gold that have higher acceleration. The only difference is losing that blow by badge on higher levels. I sacrificed that for more finishing and that high level shooting like you guys saw, so to me that trade-off was worth it. I know you guys have your opinions on this, so drop them in the comments and let me know what y'all think. Like I said, so far I've been fine with the low excel even on a small guard build, and this build is really fun to use, scoring inside and out, passing pretty good, and I actually get better defensively when I can't rely on the steal button. That's the first build though. Now let's get into my newest 6'6 guard build. These builds are actually pretty similar besides the height. I went with the 84 drive and dunk on this one in order to get LeBron James dunk package as well as Anthony Edwards, so the slashing game is definitely viable for this taller guard build. The 72 layup wasn't as important for me because I plan on just meter dunking when I see an open lane. Along with the inside game, you see we got the 84 mid-range, which gives us that midi magician gold, again one of the best badges in the game. And then we got the 92 3-pointer on top of that, which gives us the ability to be a lights out shooter off the dribble and off the catch. So again, from the paint to the 3-point line, this build as well is a scoring threat from all areas. And just like my other taller guard builds, the playmaking is around the same. 87 pass, 92 ball handle, and 83 speed with ball. This gives us the good dribbling animations and badges, as well as the ability to make decent speed passes to open shooters and cutters. I made a whole video about pass accuracy, and if you watch other people who make guard builds, you'll hear a lot of them say that the 77 or lower is quote unquote good enough. That's due to the types of passes they make and the amount of times they pass the ball. For me, I need that 87 plus for my full court passes or cross court passes to get the ball to my shooters on target and on time. Also, I pass the ball a lot, so although I understand why they use that 77 to get better scoring things on their build, me as a point guard, I try to keep my teammates involved as much as possible. That's why I personally preach higher pass accuracy. Now for the defense, you see we got square spamming abilities with the 91 steal. 61 perimeter is pretty low, so what I do is just switch to playing off the ball and just bait passing lanes and try to contest open shooters. If 61 is too low for you, then definitely lower that steal down a little bit to up your perimeter defense. This isn't the best defender by any means, so I'll admit that the 91 steal definitely bails this build out a lot defensively. Moving on to the physicals, this build also rocks the 86 speed, but I used the 73 excel on this build to get blow by silver, and if I'm being honest, from silver and bronze, I'm not really noticing as much of a difference, but maybe that's just me. And again, that gold speed booster is good enough for any point guard build, so if you have that 71 excel 86 speed, you will be just fine because it gives you enough speed off the dribble to create space to attack. I didn't want to get into every last attribute, but I put those pictures on the screens so yeah, I did see every stat. Both these guard builds are really fun to use because you can score at will, play make at a good rate, and depending on how you position yourself, you can still play defense on either build. If I had to choose one, I'm definitely preferring the 6'2 though, only because that Kyrie dribble style is so fun to use, and that 96 3-pointer has me shooting some crazy shots. I hope y'all enjoyed though. I'll be dropping some new moves and also a jump shot for my smaller guards real soon. As usual though, y'all, like, comment, subscribe, and I'ma see y'all in the next one. Peace. How you can't tell time but you watch face? You're not on real time if you watch fake.